What's it like to live in Asia as a female expat? What's the dating scene like for somebody like me, let's say? And can I bring my pet with me if I want to relocate and live in Asia? Well, if those or any other questions like that have occurred to you, fantastic, you're in the right place. My name is Wendy, and for more than 3 decades, I have lived and worked in 5 different countries in Asia, and I still live and work in Asia now in Thailand. And today we're going to look at some grocery shopping. So I'm in one of the largest stores that is in Thailand. It's called Lotus's. It used to be called Tesco Lotus because it was a conglomerate between the UK Tesco's and a local store, Lotus being sort of one of the native flowers of Asia. But it recently changed, or not so recently, a couple of years ago it changed, and now it's just called Lotus's. And we're going to have a little look around at some of the different things that you can buy and what it feels like when you're shopping in a country where the language isn't maybe English. So as you can see from behind me here, as I start to wander along, you can obviously see all of the products, so we know what they are. I happen to be in the drinks section, so I was buying some Diet Coke for myself. So you can see all of the drinks here. So let's have a look. Local brands of things you'll be familiar with, things like lemon sodas and stuff like that. But obviously the signage up above that is in Thai because, you know, we're living in Thailand, so that's how that works. But you can see what the stuff is. There's crisps on the other side, Lays or things like that. Would you like to look at some of the prices? I'll turn the camera around so you can see a little bit more. So if I have a look here, this is for a slab, I guess, 24 in a pack and 315 baht. So that is about 10 US dollars exactly, because 10 US dollars at the moment is about 317 or thereabouts. Over here you have some flavored milks and things. Now we're not going to just stick in the drinks aisle. It just happens that I was walking through the drinks aisle as we were starting the film. But as I walk forward, you'll see that in this particular Lotus's, there are loads of things available. Here's the baby clothes section. They've got the ubiquitous plastic cupboards or drawers, that seem to be absolutely everywhere in Asia. So that set of 4 drawers is 599 baht. And coming forward, we're going to have a look at some of the clothes. Now, I wanted to take us into this section because in the past, I've talked about the difference between clothing sizes for foreigners and for the Asian sizes. And this is a real issue for women in particular when it comes to things like bras or just generally clothes. Now, if you're a slight lady, you're a small size, you're not going to have any trouble in Asia at all. But if you're anything larger than a medium, it starts to become a little bit tricky. So we happen to be walking through the guys' sizes. Here's all of the handbags. We won't disturb that lady. Let's go and have a look at some of the clothes in the sports section. Oh, I've come, here we go. So let's have a look at what a size in Asia is as compared to a size in a Western country. All right, and this is a perfect example. So here we have a shirt, a sort of camel-coloured shirt, and if you have a look at it here, I'll stand it back like that, you know, it's got a little bit of width to it. It's not tight-fitting. I've got a better way to do that. This is smarter, isn't it? So you can see like that. Now, that, my friends, is an L. That's a size L, you can see there. All right. So an L here is not what it would be in a Western country. Although it is wide, it's not big size. I've got big boobs, so my boobs would not fit in that. I would certainly not be an L. And over here we have a 2XL. And I don't know, let me see if I can use my arm for comparison. It's certainly not a 2XL in our home countries in Europe or in the States or in Australia. So sizing can be a real issue in Asia if you are not of the smaller size, sorry. Here's another one here. We'll just have a quick check on this one. Da, da, da. All right, that's also an L. There's a perfect indicator for you. Ladies, take a look. That is my forearm. So, and that's an L. And look at the size of that. It is absolutely tiny. It's tiny. So that is really something that you need to think about when you are preparing to move to Asia about clothes. Now, shops like Shein or any of those fast fashion places, they all deliver to Asia without any trouble. But be aware that the sizing is completely different. Here's another example. That's an XL. That is an XL. It is absolutely tiny. It would not get, look at my hand. I don't have very, very big hands. I'm a very big person. But that's an XL size. So that gives you an idea of what we're talking about when we're talking about the differences in sizes. Now, as I said, this shop has simply everything, all your homewares and everything. So this is the type of place you would come if you were setting up. It doesn't matter where it is. In Vietnam, they'll have a similar thing. All countries will have a similar kind of thing for you to come and get all of your goods. This is a kind of cutesy section over here. And we'll wander over here for a little bit. Please excuse the jingly, singy part. That is something that never ends in any shop I've ever been to in Asia. There's always a tune. I guess it's the same in our home countries when it's Christmas and stuff. But boy, do they hammer all of these tunes. So let's walk past this. We're going to go past the shoes. The thing about these shops is they're not expensive. So if you wanted to buy something nice, you know, here's some pretty shoes. That's the one thing I can buy in Asia because I don't have big feet. So shoes are okay. But I wanted to bring us to this section because this is also something that I've talked about. I've talked about bras, and the prices look great, and they are great actually. $2.99, it's on special. That's really good, and that looks like a decent cup size. But you'll notice that in all of the bras, almost all of the bras, firstly, the colour range is not amazing. And next, they're damn well padded. Everything is padded. So this one here, padding. This one here, padding, all padded. So even if you were to get a larger size, and this is what I'm describing as a larger size for Asia, if you turn it over inside here, there's padding in every damn bra. Now, I will tell you a funny story. I thought it was funny anyway. It happened to me when I was living in Hong Kong. I'm an easy double D, probably an E, and it doesn't matter if I've put on weight or lost weight, I always have giant knockers. And I tried on a bra in a proper bra shop in Hong Kong where there was padding involved. And I said to the sales lady there, I said, look, you know, I can get my boobs in, but my boobs are up under my neck. So she said, try it on. So I tried it on. And sure enough, when I came out of the dressing room, my boobs were literally up under my neck. And you know the thing that she said to me, which is great? She said, wow, so sexy. It's not sexy. I looked ridiculous. But to her mind, having a giant cleavage popping out over the top of my clothes was just the best thing ever. So for her, she thought it looked great, or she was just trying to sell me the bra. But obviously, somebody who's a double D or an E, I simply do not need extra padding. So that's really something that you want to think about. Now, I will say this is like a chain kind of store, like a Kmart, that kind of equivalent, or a Target, something like that. So, okay, this is not your specialty bra section by any means, but it just goes to show you, and so that they're cheap bras, they're not expensive. But if you're a B cup or maybe even a C cup, you might be okay. But anything larger than a B or a Western C, you're going to get yourself into all kinds of trouble if you're trying to buy bras. So what do? Well, I usually save up my pennies and head off to a Marks and Spencer's if there's one in a city that's near me. You can order online, of course, and the deliveries are okay. Some countries you might pay import tax on those. If the parcel is deemed to be over a certain amount, then you'll have to pay an import tax. But that just gives you an idea of some of the things that I was talking about before. So when it comes to buying bras, you can get them, but be aware that they will be padded. I'm pleased to see that everybody's having a big sale here in the Tesco's today. And again, as I've mentioned before, colour's not amazing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just this Tesco's, but I don't think so. I've found in Asia that all of the really pretty bras, you know, pretty lacy things and everything, just doesn't seem to exist outside of a fancy lingerie shop or a double A size. Everybody else is certain. These ones aren't too bad, I guess. But if you wanted something a little bit more daring, you might not have the colour palette that you're used to. Anyway, that's just one thought. So as well as that, we've got all of the snacks, of course. We've got all of the drinks as well. This is my lifesaver. It's just soda water, but it's absolutely brilliant. If you're interested in finding out about booze, well, we'll take a little look in the booze section in just one second. So here we are in the alcohol section, and keeping in mind that this is, in fact, as I said before, like a store a bit like Kmart, and I'll give you a look at some of the prices. So this is an Australian wine called Jacob's Creek, and it's 445 baht, as you can see. I have not lived in Australia for such a long time. I honestly can't tell you as a price comparison, but I do know that there's a large tax on alcohol in Thailand, and that causes some people real conniptions. The other thing that's very interesting in Thailand is that they only sell the alcohol at certain times of the day. This is a way that they try to control people drinking and driving and doing things like that. So here's some Johnny Walker. This is Black Label. It's $16.99. It's quite a large bottle, I have to say. The ladies are in there and they're getting their stock ready, but they're not open. As you can see, there's a chain across. So to tell you exactly what the rules are, I'll just show you what the rules are, and these are the rules. So there's no alcohol sold between, the alcohol is sold between 11 and 2 and 5 and midnight. But those other times you will find it very difficult to buy alcohol in Thailand. You can go to some mum and pop stores. They will kind of maybe sell it to you under the counter, but actually, technically they're not supposed to. Here's some more wines. These are not premium wines by any means. These ones seem to be a little bit more reasonable. But alcohol is a premium in Thailand, unless you're drinking the local alcohol, which I have drunk, and it's not hideous. It might give you a bit of a hangover, but then depends on how much you drink, I guess. So I'll take you over to the beer section, because I know I have a lot of male listeners. And don't get me wrong, I love a beer myself. There's a San Mig for 57 baht. And here's some Asahi, good Japanese beer. Looks like a pack, 6 cans, and that's 273 baht, and some Heineken. And here we're getting into some of the more premium beers. Now, this is a great beer, actually, from Lao, Beer Lao. They do a good job on beers. And here we have some sort of fancier brandy ones. I'll just take you around here. I don't know where this one's from. Hiccup, Tinai? Ni Thai, Tamai? Ni Thai beer?
Thai beer.
Thai, this is a Thai beer. Okay, so 30 baht for that one, which is about $1 for us. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all. I have to say that's a cheaper one. But we can't go in there because it's not alcohol selling time. But you can see. Now that is a local whiskey. That one there. It's called Hong Fong. And I'll zoom you in a little bit. Okay, those ones there. Some people worry that they'll make you go blind, and they might. But if you're desperate and with a bit of Diet Coke mixed in, they are not too bad. So that's the situation with bras and booze in Thailand. Now, obviously, this is just one example of a place because we happen to be in Thailand. But everywhere in Asia, they have their local alcohols, their local beers. And although that's pretty consistent, the other thing that's fairly consistent is, as I said, the bra situation. So ladies, if you're moving to Asia, keep in mind that your bras are going to have to be imported if you are of a specialty size. I do know women who live in Asia who have really, really enormous breasts, and it is quite a problem for them. If you're really desperate and it's always been a dream of yours, of course, what you could always do is have them reduced in Thailand or in Vietnam or any other countries that have really excellent medical tourism. A lot of places now in Asia are famous for their medical tourism. Thailand has been thus for quite some time. And I do know people, I have a friend who lives here who at some point she had made the decision that she was not going to deal with the heat of having sweaty boobies and dealing with, not being able to get a bra. So what she did was she went and had the surgery in Thailand and had her breasts reduced, and it was a much, much happier time that she had. I know that's a bit of a weird video for you today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Just taking a little look, we're now in the breakfast cereal brand, and people will be pleased to see that Kellogg's is alive and well and living in Asia as well. One thing that is a little bit different is perhaps some of the things might be a little bit different. So let me just turn you around one more second. So yes, they've got Cocoa Pops, they've got Kit Kat, all of that sort of stuff. But they also have local versions, Cocoa Crunch, which for some reason has a koala on it, and I find that very confusing, honestly. Cocoa Crunch Duo. You can find all of your favourites there. Your granolas, absolutely everything you want. There's no problem getting things, no problem getting goods in Asia. Some of the brands might not be what you're familiar with, and some of the names might be a little bit different. But if you're after jam or peanut butter or mayonnaise in a jar, it's all here. It's all here for you, as well as the rather exotic stuff. Bit of a longer video, but I hope you've enjoyed it. If you are interested about what it's like to live as a female expat living in Asia, if you've got any questions, if there's a topic you'd like me to cover, please do leave a comment down below. And as well as that, if you've watched this far in the video, which is a really long video today, please do like and subscribe, or as well as leave a comment, because it really does help with the algorithm. And I'm growing my little channel. It's doing great, but your support is truly appreciated. I really, really appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.